For as long as I can remember growing up, I always wanted to be a YouTuber. From the time I was 6 years old up until a few months ago, and this is probably because as a kid, I was one of those chronically online iPad kids, and I spent an unhealthy amount of time on the internet. I would spend hours every day watching DanTDM, Sunday, and all those other like Minecraft creators who were my favorite creators at the time. And as I grew up, my taste in the content that I consumed changed, but I still never grew out of wanting to be a YouTuber for whatever reason. Even as a senior in high school, I still wanted to be a YouTuber, but over the last few months, I really do feel like this desire has sort of faded in a way. I think that the main reason for this is simply that now, since I'm a full-time college student, I'm thinking more realistically and practically about the career I want and what I want to do with my life. And as I've looked more into that, I've started to realize just how saturated YouTube and social media are, and more of the reality of making content on social media, and just how many people are trying to do the exact same thing that I am. And you know, maybe it's not necessarily the most realistic career, to say the least. Now, YouTube has to be one of the most saturated places ever by now, with everybody on there just trying to be the next big thing. Every day, millions of videos and thousands of hours of content get uploaded, all of which is competing for the same views and attention from a limited amount of people. Now, every video that is uploaded isn't necessarily directly competing with each other. For example, this video isn't competing with the iPhone review in Portuguese because there's two entirely different audiences for either video. But in both examples, all of the factors that work to reduce competition, such as language or genre, could also work to limit the size of a potential audience. So even though billions of people use YouTube every month, you know, this unfathomably large number of people use the website, only a fraction of them would ever consider watching this video or any other video if they somehow found it through the recommended or search or whatever. And as time goes on, it just gets harder and harder to actually find any sort of footing on this platform due to its saturation. Almost everything has been done before on YouTube, and in a way, no one is truly original at this point. Well, there's nothing wrong with this, it's just that the lack of potential new or original content makes it very hard, if not impossible, to stand out from what everyone else is doing, which makes it hard for aspiring creators, especially when standing out is the best way that an upcoming creator can establish themselves. It makes it really challenging for someone new to navigate this really oversaturated field. Even if you disregard the oversaturation and the challenge of standing out, you're still just left with one question, and that's why? And well, my answer to that, as far as wanting to be a YouTuber, would have been that I want a career where I'm independent and I have creative freedom and I just enjoy making videos for fun. I still can't get over the fact that I don't feel like society as a whole actually needs more YouTubers or influencers. As I'm mature and I'm more regularly faced with the reality of just how broken and disjointed our society is as a whole, I feel like the last thing we need is more influencers selling useless courses or sharing videos online of them making it rain on the homeless. As someone who just kind of wants to help make the world a better place, I don't know if just becoming another YouTuber would actually help anything in any way. Now, there definitely are ways that I feel creators can impact society in a positive way. For example, creators can use their platforms or their audience to inspire positive change or to do something positive themselves. An example of this would be Mr. Beast Team Trees, where he was able to use his platform to plant 20 million trees. Or positive change can also come from the content itself. So much of, I feel like, what we consume in our modern digital age with all sorts of on-demand content feels soulless and empty, and I feel like the impacts of this soulless junk food content can be felt throughout our world and with many, many people. With a world that oftentimes seems so hopeless and depressed, what if more of the content that we consumed was positive or inspired people, or, you know, even just made people think? I'm not saying that that's the solution to all of society's problems, but if we lived in a world where the content that we consumed was less focused on sort of maximizing revenue and more or less just like, you know, sort of inspiring people or inspiring change through more thoughtful and impactful creation, then maybe that could be a way that creators could truly benefit society and make the world a better place. So in conclusion, I definitely do think it's possible for creators to truly have a positive impact on the world through what they put out, especially with the huge reach and platform that many of the most popular creators have. But as to what the video was originally about, which was simply the question of, do we really need more YouTubers? The answer, at least in my opinion, is a little bit more of a gray area. If YouTube and YouTubers went away tomorrow, I think society would be okay. It wouldn't be like a world without farmers or doctors where there would be no food or medicine, healthcare. But at the same time, the demand for creators and YouTubers is still outpacing the supply, as it seems like every year thousands of new creators start channels and many still blow up and achieve success. And the same lack of purpose argument could be for any career related to entertainment. Our favorite artists and athletes don't necessarily serve a purpose directly to society, like they don't directly contribute to society, but it's entertainment at the end of the day. We don't need these people for society to function, but they have jobs because they entertain us. And as for myself, I'm gonna continue uploading to this channel now as a hobby because I just find making these videos fun from time to time. I'm not going to necessarily worry about blowing up or trying to make money off of this because it's just for fun. If I do somehow get big someday, then I guess I just end up looking at YouTube as a job and not just as a hobby, but I'm not even close to being there, so there's no real point in really thinking about it. As for other aspiring creators in the same boat as me, I'm gonna finish with one last major piece of advice. If you want to be a creator someday or pursue creation, do it because you love the process and you love creating, not because you're chasing money or the lavish lifestyle that you see many creators display on YouTube or on other social media sites.